Welcome to the class where tech takes the lead. Adam Todd here with just what you need. Teachers everywhere, let's elevate the game. With digital tools, we'll never be the same. In this podcast, we'll uncover the trends, from apps to gadgets on which we depend. Connect with your students in ways so fresh, innovative minds put to the test. In this podcast, we'll uncover the trends, from apps to gadgets on which we depend. Connect with your students in ways so fresh, innovative minds put to the test. Classroom dynamics where we all unite. Education future shining bright, with Adam Todd guiding us through. Teachers' paradise coming true.
Classroom Dynamics is supported by Logitech. As education continues to evolve, so does Logitech Education, your partner in content creation for the classroom. With Logitech's cutting-edge technology, students not only learn but also become content creators. Whether it's in person or online, Logitech's tools are designed to inspire educators and learners alike. Capture every educational moment in stunning detail and edit, produce, and share your creative journey with ease. Logitech Education, inspiring the next generation of creators. For more, visit logitech.com/education, transforming classrooms one innovation at a time. Welcome to Classroom Dynamics, the podcast where we unlock the future of education. Hi everybody, I'm your host Adam Todd, and welcome to a special Earth Day episode of Classroom Dynamics. I've always been passionate about environmental protection, and today we're looking back at some of the most inspiring conversations that we've had with environmental changemakers who are making a real impact on our planet. This past year, I had the privilege of speaking with three incredible people who are doing just that. Richardson, who was just 11 years old at the time, is an environmental advocate empowering young people to take steps to make a difference with environmental protection. Jillian Morris, a marine biologist and founder of Sharks for Kids, is changing the way we view sharks and ocean conservation. And at just 15 years of age, Hickman is the founder of Ryan's Recycling and Project 3R, who has shown that small actions like recycling and beach cleanups can lead to big environmental change. Each one of these heroes are bringing attention to one of mankind's biggest challenges. On the show today, we'll revisit some of their most powerful insights. So whether you're in the classroom, at home, or out in nature, let's celebrate Earth Day by learning from these inspirational leaders and forward thinkers. And it's all coming up next on Classroom Dynamics, so don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. AI can save teachers time, but what if it could do more? With Your Way, AI is built specifically for your school or district, aligning cutting-edge technology with your instructional goals, strategies, and vision. Empower teachers to personalize instruction, create engaging lessons, and implement innovative practices, all while saving time for what matters most. Why settle for one-size-fits-all AI? Customize and build your way safely and seamlessly. Discover AI that works your way at yourwaylearning.com. Today we're revisiting some of the most memorable conversations that we've had around the environment and how technology has played a role in it. When I spoke with Richardson, who was only 11 years old at the time, he shared his passion for environmental advocacy and the power of young people to drive meaningful change. His message was clear: small actions can lead to a big impact. Take a listen.
From a very young age, we went to the beach and there was always rubbish there. It was always there and it's still there now. It's always going to be there. And whenever we saw it, we just picked it up because we knew it didn't belong there. And so then when I was about 5, I went on my first community snorkel and I saw incredible creatures, incredible coral. And it just clicked that all this rubbish that I was finding was harming the incredible creatures that I'd seen. And I think that's when I asked Mum and Dad, what can I do to help? Well, I'm an ambassador for Coral Watch, which is an organisation that is helping reefs around the world by using their Coral Watch health charts to monitor the reef, and also by educating people about the importance and how to protect the reefs. And I'm also an ambassador for Tangaroa Blue, which is another amazing organisation that is helping the ocean environment by organising big beach cleans And then they sort it all and they get tons of rubbish. And when I say tons, I mean tons. The amount is absolutely astounding. And they sort through it, they count the amount of what they've got, and then, then they put that into their database, and then hopefully they're able to find out where that rubbish is coming from, and then they try and stop it from the source. You're never too small to make a difference. And if there's something you love, then follow that passion. Be as passionate as you can about it and just go all guns blazing for it. Just try and achieve your dreams and goals. And so never be afraid to ask for help. I ask my parents all the time what I can do, what can I do to help. And so ask your teachers, ask your mentors, ask your parents, ask people, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Elijah emphasized that students today aren't just learning about climate change, they're leading the fight against it. He believes that schools and young people have an important role in supporting sustainability projects, giving students hands-on opportunities to make a real difference, and, of course, to look out for their environment. You can follow Elijah on his Instagram at Elijah's World QLD. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll visit the Bahamas and Jillian Morris from Sharks for Kids, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right after this. Looking for the ultimate laptop protection? The Higher Ground Gear Shuttle 3.0 CS keeps your device safe, cool, and secure wherever you go. With its always-on design, your laptop stays protected at all times, while Clean Shell technology makes cleaning easy. The cooling deck prevents overheating, and the shock-absorbing corners, stiff EVA shell, and non-slip bottom ensure top-tier durability. Are you on the go a lot? Well, the carry handle and optional shoulder strap make it easy to grab and go. Plus, it's mil-spec certified, so you know it's built to last. Upgrade to the Higher Ground Gear Shuttle 3.0 CS today, because your tech deserves higher ground. Visit hggear.com to learn more. Teachers, podcasters, and classroom creators, take your content to the next level with Logitech Education. Whether you're recording a student-led podcast, creating engaging lesson videos, or producing professional quality classroom content, Logitech has the tools you need. With crystal clear cameras, studio quality microphones, perfect lighting solutions, and seamless editing gear, their full portfolio of content creation solutions empowers educators and inspires students. Bring professional-grade production into your classroom today. Visit logitech.com/education to learn more. Another important part of protecting our planet is taking care of our oceans. When I sat down with marine biologist Jillian Morris of Sharks for Kids, she helped debunk common myths about sharks and explain why these creatures are essential to ocean ecosystems. Take a listen.
I snorkeled with my first shark when I was 8 years old. My dad had to go to Florida for work every year. So we went, and we didn't have a ton of money for all the parks and all that, but we went paddling and we went snorkeling and things. And so a lot of outdoorsy stuff. And I got to see a nurse shark. And at that age, I was just obsessed with animals in the ocean, just couldn't get enough. So it was a nurse shark. So went to the library, got books, and learned as much as I could about that and other animals. And that really just ignited something in me. I wanted to study more and learn more. And I'd always told my parents, I think from age 5, that I wanted to be a marine biologist. And I think they probably thought it was a phase and it would change a lot, but it didn't. And so that's what I pursued at university. And then after I graduated, I started exploring, well, now that I have this degree and all this information, what do I do? And so I started exploring kind of diving, research projects. Everything was kind of focused around sharks as much as it could be. And so building skill sets and experiences, I got to travel all over the world and work on different projects. And then I took that media background, that science background, because I was taking photos and videos on my trip and started doing some underwater photo and video, and tried to figure out how I could combine that. What could I do with that to teach other people how incredible the ocean is and why they should dive in, literally and figuratively. And I had a lot of friends that were teachers, and my mom's a retired teacher, and they'd say, hey, can you come in the classroom and talk about sharks? Absolutely. And then they'd always say, and we're talking 15, 16 years ago, maybe more. And they would say, hey, do you have a worksheet, something to go with it? And I'd be like, oh, I don't. Sorry. I've got these cool photos and videos. Look at me tagging a shark in Australia, but I don't have anything else. And so I thought about that. Like, wouldn't that be interesting if there was a space for those kind of things and all this information? And I sat on it for probably 4 years, talked about it. And then finally, just my husband said one day, well, why don't you just start it, do it? I was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to. And I said, well, you're doing it with me, because he's a professional videographer, and recruited a couple other people. My best friend had just finished his PhD on tiger sharks, and got together and said, hey, what about this thing? I want to call it Sharks for Kids. And I want to have a website with resources and create opportunities for students. And that was 2012. And here we are. But it was really just a place to bring all that together, because I felt every time I went into a classroom, kids gave me hope. They got me excited. And I was seeing a lot of things that pollution, fins, fishing, all these things that were really overwhelming, but kids always gave me hope. And so how could we empower and inspire them? And that's really what Sharks for Kids was born out of.
You have the teaching in your DNA from your mom. So it was just a natural progression to go that way, right?
I think so. She always said, you should teach. And I was like, no, never. No desire. And then joke's on me. It's what I'm doing.
And now here you are teaching, and not only just teaching, but teaching on this worldwide stage. You're no longer just going into a classroom. This is now broadened to the degree of around the world now.
Yeah, we started doing programs, or I did, with Skype before Sharks for Kids actually launched. So before our website even launched, because it was just, we got asked to be a global partner. I did, and it was this incredible platform that you could speak to kids anywhere in the world, and you didn't have to get on a plane. There was no cost to it. And now kids that might not otherwise have access to someone or that knowledge or that experience, now they do, and it's free. And It was just, I think it was probably one of the biggest game changers for Sharks for Kids, but also education and how we approach it. I can't speak to that as a classroom teacher, but having feedback from classroom teachers and my mom and friends, it was really a remarkable tool that I think changed how everyone can approach education using technology.
So what can you suggest for teachers? How could they do that?
Well, I think the world is telling stories, visual stories now. Everybody, and you look at social media, everything is a visual story. We're consuming it all the time, rapidly. And so instead of shying away from that, look at resources. I mean, YouTube now, there's so many incredible videos, and everyone jokes about, well, I can learn how to do anything on YouTube, the videos, right? Well, there's incredible video learning opportunities where you are connecting. There's a lot of live and interactive chats. Reach out. I mean, if anyone wants a live shark chat, we do them year round on multiple platforms with our team. So connect with scientists, connect with an architect. Like it doesn't have to be scientists, but reach out, because I think you'd be surprised how many people actually are really excited to talk to kids and share their passion, their knowledge. And the answer is always no until you ask. So I think don't be afraid to check out those resources. I think there's more and more of it, and bring that in, bring those experts or that passion, that experience, that knowledge to your students. The other thing too is when we actually run educator workshops. So getting teachers in the field, and then we do whole sessions like talking about how do you bring that back? Now you've come out shark tagging with us, you've done this cool thing. How do you take that back to your kids? And it's visual media. It's interactive. We have some cool video stuff that they can do with their kids that are data driven too. So they can do an activity where the kids are analyzing real data. And so
that's so cool.
It's
because that's
amazing.
real world now, right? Now you're bringing also real world situations in. So that's fantastic.
Absolutely. Yep. And so then how do they take that into their classroom? Make sure your classroom and your school is really encouraging students to use reusables. It's a very simple thing, and the world can seem overwhelming with pollution and plastic and climate change and animals, endangered species, but there are very simple acts that we can do as individuals that make a difference. And so when I go to schools and I see kids bringing or the plastics in the classroom or plastic cups, and I'm just like, oh man, and I know stuff's maybe expensive or not, but encouraging kids and making sure every kid has a water bottle or every kid has reusable silverware has got to be cheaper than continuously buying that stuff. So if your school doesn't do that, or start with your classroom, start with your school, because that makes the planet better, makes the oceans, makes all of that. It's something that is a simple action that really, really can make an impact.
Jillian's work has focused on shifting perceptions about sharks from feared predators to vital protectors of marine life. Through education and advocacy, she has inspired countless students to become ocean stewards, proving that conservation starts with awareness. You can follow Sharks for Kids on Instagram at Shark Education and on X at Sharks for Kids. That's sharks with the number 4 and kids. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, we'll wrap things up with Ryan Hickman, the 15-year-old from California who started his own recycling company at the ripe old age of 3. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Teachers, are you looking for resources that spark creativity and inspire learning? Look no further than Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers. From comprehensive lesson plans and interactive lab books to engaging informational test prep passages, Highly Motivated has everything you need to keep your students motivated and excited to learn. Whether it's a quick activity or a full unit, these resources are designed to save you time and help students succeed. Highly Motivated, motivating teaching resources that engage and inspire. Search Highly Motivated on Teachers Pay Teachers today. One of the simplest and most effective ways to help the environment is through recycling. When I spoke with Ryan Hickman, he shared how his journey began at just 3 years of age when he and his dad decided to start Ryan's Recycling. Since then, he's recycled over 2 million cans and bottles, over 200,000 pounds of material, and has participated in over 400 environmental cleanup events, all the while raising awareness about waste reduction. Take a listen. I'm sure you've told this story a billion times before, but do you remember that exact moment that first sparked your passion with recycling and in turn became aware of how all this environmental information needs to get across to people and all the aspects of it? Do you remember that moment?
I don't really remember that moment. All I know is I fell in love with recycling and I just loved it ever since. And I know it's helping the planet, so I just want to keep doing it.
So it's all Dad's fault, basically, is what you're saying.
Well, I mean, I wasn't able to drive at 3, so technically, sorta. If he didn't drive me there, then none of this would have happened. Ryan's Recycling is a pickup service. It's just me and my dad. We go around usually on Saturdays and pick up from a handful of customers that call me, and it's like a donation thing. They donate their recycling, and the money I put towards my college. Project 3R, right here on my hoodie. It's a nonprofit organization for to help ocean education and awareness and beach cleanups. And Recycle from Home is a mobile service where we're in 8 cities and unincorporated areas down here in Southern California. And that is, we pay the customers back for their CACRV cans and bottles, which for those who aren't in California, that's you pay 5 to 10 cents when you buy the container at the grocery store. What we do is when you give us the bottle, we pay you that 5 to 10 cents back.
Oh, okay. So you're actually paying that up.
That's what a recycle center would do. So we're just a mobile recycling center.
Right. That's interesting. So how has your approach to recycling evolved over the years with all of those? Has your outlook changed?
I mean, I kept thinking the same thing. Recycling is really good for the planet, and it's just so much fun as well. I just want to keep recycling and just doing it even more.
Right. And it gives you something to do, right? You have a bigger focus, right? Besides school, you have a bigger focus, which is an environmental level, which is kind of hard for kids to do, but you're doing it. So, congratulations to you on that.
Thanks.
Finally, what advice would you give to young people who want to make a difference, but just don't know where to start or may feel like they can't make a difference on their own? What would you say to them?
Just start small. Every little bit makes a big difference. I started when I was 3.5. You can start now.
Ryan's story showed that no matter how young you are, you can make a real difference. His advice was simple. Start small, be consistent, and inspire others to take action. Imagine the impact if every classroom, every school, and every community followed his lead. You can follow Ryan on his Instagram and on X at Ryan's Recycling. That's Ryan's_recycling. As we reflect on Earth Day, I challenge you, whether you're a student, a teacher, or just someone who cares about our planet, to think about one action that you can do today. Maybe it's reducing plastic waste, maybe it's planting a tree, or even just sharing what you've learned today on our show with someone else. A huge thank you to Elijah Richardson, Jillian Morris, and Ryan Hickman for their dedication to not only bringing attention to our delicate ecosystem, but for helping to protect the planet. If you haven't heard their full episodes yet, be sure to check them out by searching Classroom Dynamics on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast shows. And remember, every action, no matter what it is, counts. Always. Thank you for tuning in today, and make sure that you share what you've learned or any takeaways or reflections that you've had, and tag us on X at Class Dynamics or Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. You can also find all of our links, including information about our sponsors, on our link tree at Classroom Dynamics. We always look forward to hearing your thoughts on our episodes and sharing the different ways in which you're using what you've learned. You can also help support Classroom Dynamics with as little as $3 a month at classroomdynamicspodcast.buzzsprout.com. Once again, I'd like to thank Elijah Richardson, Jillian Morris, and Ryan Hickman for appearing on Classroom Dynamics this past year, and I truly hope that their messages are heard loud and clear, far and wide. Thanks for joining us. And that brings us to the end of this episode of Classroom Dynamics, where knowledge and inspiration meets innovation. I hope you've enjoyed today's discussion and found it both insightful and uplifting. As always, my goal is to provide you with practical strategies, engaging stories, and powerful insights that can fuel your motivation as an educator. I believe when knowledge and inspiration do come together, incredible things can happen in your classroom. And for all of you who think it's too late to strengthen your craft, I challenge you to make it your mission to do so. You've worked hard to get to where you are today, and it's never too late to infuse new life into your work. So why not make today that day to do so? I'm Adam Todd, and you've been listening to Classroom Dynamics, a teacher podcast. You can follow Classroom Dynamics on X at Class Dynamics and on Instagram at Classroom Dynamics Podcast. If you haven't already, go to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. We'll be back soon with more captivating conversations, inspiring stories, and strategies that you can implement into your everyday routines. Until then, keep igniting that spark in your classroom and never stop believing in the incredible impact that you have as an educator. You're more powerful and inspirational than you think. Did you miss our exciting episode with Lectech? Well, if so, join me as I sit down with Jared Ebersol and Luke St. Amand, the dynamic duo behind Lectech, who are on a mission to inspire the next generation of engineers through e-skateboards and e-scooters with STEM.
Both of our backgrounds, we're both engineers now. So I was an engineer at Amazon. Jared's a self-taught mechanical electrical engineer. So we definitely like to learn. It's just learning in the right way. And for us, kids are smart and they know hey, if this has no value, this is just a piece of paper I need to fill out, or I just need to listen for 45 minutes about something that, doesn't interest me or has little applicability outside. And that's no fault to the teacher or curriculum. It's just the way of which it's taught is how we're trying to change it. So this is, a product, but it's also a way to kind of connect to that outside environment.